Hello Magento developers. Sometime when you develop a new module, you need to upgrade your database schema, so either to create a new table or add columns to your existing tables. A problem occurs when you need to update your live server, because if you don't update the code base and the database at the same time, your site might not be functioning for the update period of time. If you come from the Magento 1 world, you are familiar with the install and upgrade scripts, which work as follows. You update your code base, clear your cache, and the first person who visits your site will automatically trigger the upgrade scripts. In Magento 2, we still have these scripts, but they work differently. You update your code base, clear the cache, and you need to manually run bin Magento setup upgrade command line tool. In this video, we will create a new table in our system. We will explain everything on the shipment sender module, which is a module that allows creating custom labels with custom sender's address for our shipments. They can be created in admin, and in some of the future videos we might learn how to do those. In this video we will only create a new table. Before we start, I'd like to navigate you to my website www.peterbritka.com, where you can find Magento 2 tutorials and Magento 2 related articles. And if you are new to Magento 2 and would like to learn all the common tasks that you'll do in the front end as a new Magento 2 developer on daily basis, I suggest that you check out my online course that is called Spam Protection Case Study, and it is a case study of this module where you'll not only learn all these front-end customization techniques that you'll use every day, but you will also build this module that will protect your site from unwanted spam, and you can use it on your production system. Okay, let's get started with today's lesson. I created a new module called pbritka shipment sender, and the idea behind this module is as follows. When you create a shipment and send a package to your customers, normally you have a label on this package with the sender's address. Usually it is your shop's address, but sometimes you might have premium customers who want to sell products on your site, and these packages should be sent on their behalf. So on the packages there should be their sender address. For this purpose we will need a new database table that will store the sender's address. Right now the module is empty. I have only registration.php file and module.xml that define the module. I haven't enabled the module yet, and this is very important because I want to show you how the installation scripts work right from the beginning. So please don't enable the module yet, we will do it together. Okay, we have two kinds of installation scripts. One is called install schema and the other one is called install data. Install schema creates new database tables and adds new columns to your existing database tables, and install data adds new data to your existing tables. In this video we will be working only with the schema files. So the installation scripts go under the setup directory. So let's create this directory, and in this directory a new file called install schema.php. When a new module is enabled and you run the setup upgrade script, the Magento system will look for the module's install schema files and run code that is inside this file. First we need the namespace, pbritka, shipment sender, setup. We will also need to use some classes, so Magento, framework, setup, install schema interface, Magento framework, setup module context interface, and Magento framework setup schema setup interface. Then we'll create the class that will be called install schema that will implement install schema interface. This interface has one mandatory method, public function install. In the beginning of this method, we should call setup start setup method, and in the end, setup and setup. Everything that is between these two commands will be executed. The end setup method makes sure that the correct version of your module is written in the database. I will show you later where you can find this record. Between these two commands, you should write the SQL commands that will create your table, but we will not write the raw commands. Magento has a class with methods that will take care of these commands. So first we need to get a connection class that interacts with the database, and we can get this by calling setup get connection. It is an instance of PDO MySQL class that you can find in vendor, Magento framework, DB, adapter, PDO, MySQL, and it has methods that work with database. You can find them here, or you can explore the class. Then we should define the table, so create a table variable by calling connection new table. It is a method in this class right here that will create an instance of Magento framework DB DDL table class, and it has methods like add column that we will use in a while. So first we need to create a new table with a name as an argument. The name we can get by calling setup get table method, and this method accepts a parameter with the name of our table. I will name my P Britka as a prefix, shipment, sender, address. The advantage of calling setup get table method is that if your Magento installation has some prefix in your database tables, this method will return the correct name of your table with the prefix. So now we have an instance of the table class, and we can call add column method on this variable. I would like to mention that this add column method is different than the one here in MySQL class. We will use this add column method later in upgrade schema file that I'll explain you right after this install schema class. Okay, so we will be working with this add column method. Let's define the first column. The name of the column is ID. Then there is the type of this column, and on top of this file you will find some constants that we can use. So I will choose this constant. So the type will be integer. Then there is the size argument, which in this case can be left null, but we need to define the options. So the third argument is null, And now we need to define the options. This is an array that contains the definition of our column, like if it can accept null values or not, if it is unsigned or auto-increment or so. Since this is a primary key, the first option will be identity, which means that if this is set to true, it will be an auto-increment field. Then this should be also unsigned, because we don't need negative values. The column will not be nullable, and this column is primary. The last argument of this addColumn method is a comment, which is an optional argument, and if you don't specify it, Magento will add a comment based on the name of the column. But I like to specify it. Okay, first column is ready. We can add another column. Name of this one will be first name. It will be a type text. With the text type columns, we should also specify a size. 50 characters is enough for the first name. Then we'll have the options argument, which in this case it's enough if I define the nullable parameter as false. And the comment of this field will be first name. All the other columns will be text columns, so I can copy this line, insert it here, and change only the name of the column as last name and the comment. Then we'll define the street, which can be longer, so 100 characters. The comment will be street. Then we'll have the street number with size of 10 characters. The comment will be street number. Then postcode. Usually it is 6 digits, but I just like to add some extra space, so 10 characters. The comment is postcode. Then we have city, 50 characters is okay. And the comment is city. And country ID, which is a 2-character representation of a country. The comment is country code. As the last method in this definition, I will set a comment on this table, which will say shipment sender address. The table is defined. All we need to do now is to call connection create table and add the table as the argument, and when the install script runs, a new table will be created in our database. Let's see it in action. First, let's check the status of our modules with bin Magento module status. You see that our module is disabled at the moment, so we enable it with bin Magento module enable pivritka shipment sender. The module is enabled and we can run bin Magento setup upgrade script. That will go over all the modules in the system and run their installation scripts and upgrade scripts if needed. The table should be installed in our database at the moment, so let's check out the database. First, let's go to the setup module table and refresh it. And here you see that a new record has been added with the name of the module pivritka shipment sender. The schema version is 1.0.0 as well as the data version. When we refresh the database, we will see that a new table has been added to our system, pivritka shipment sender address. Let's look at the structure and we can see all the definition like length here, type of the columns, This one is primary key and auto increment, and the comment column here. Okay, the installation script is ready. Now I will show you how we can use the upgrade script that will add a column to these existing tables when the module is already installed. Remember that this install script, this one, is run only for the first time when you enable the module. But what happens if you find out that you forgot to add a column in this definition? The first option is that you can go to this setup module database table and delete this record, and the install script will be run again. This is not the recommended way. For this reason, Magento also has upgrade scripts. They also go under the setup directory, so create a new PHP file called upgrade schema. Let's copy the namespace and the use classes, but this time change this install schema interface to upgrade schema interface. Then write the name of the new class, which will be upgrade schema. This will implement upgrade schema interface. Let's look at this interface. It has one method called public function upgrade. Again, in the beginning of the method, you should call setup start setup, and in the end, setup end setup. Everything that you will type in between will be run when you change the version of your module and run bin Magento setup upgrade command. As the first thing, we should compare the version which is installed in our system with the version that your module will be upgraded to. So we can use the version compare function. The current version installed in the system we can get by calling context get version, and we will compare it with 1.0.1. Right now the version of our module is 1.0.0, but we will change it to 1.0.1 in a while. So if this version is not installed yet, everything that is inside this condition will be run. As the first thing, we should get the connection variable by calling setup get connection. Then we can get the table name by calling setup get table, and the argument will be pivot shipment sender address. Now let's call connection add column. Remember that this time we are calling this add column, which is different from the add column method in the table class. So the first argument is the table name, which we just got a line above. Then a column name that we want to add. Now we want to add a company column name. Then we have a definition of this column. We need to specify the type. That will be the text type. Length of this column can be 100. Nullable will be false. This time the comment is mandatory. Let's set it to company. And it is mandatory because if it is not present, an exception will be raised and your setup script will be not successfully finished. And also we can define an after definition which specifies where in this table the column should be located. I will insert it after the ID column. If you don't specify the after key, it will be added as the last column in your table. Okay, this is all, so we can save the file. Let's increase the version number of our module to 1 0.0.1. Clear the cache. It's enough to clear the config cache. Now we can call build Magento setup upgrade. That will again go over all the modules in the system and call their install and upgrade scripts. Okay, this is done, so let's check out the database. First, refresh the setup module table and look at this record. The version numbers have been increased. And now let's look at our shipment center address table, and the company field has been added right after the ID column. Okay, so this was it for this lesson. I hope you understand how to create a new table in your Magento installation and how the install and upgrade schema classes work. If you like the video, please click the like button and also the subscribe button so that you are notified every time I release a new Magento 2 tutorial. And for more tutorials, go to my website www.peterbitka.com. And one more time, if you are new to Magento 2, I recommend that you check out my online course that will teach you the most common front-end customization techniques that you will be using on a daily basis. And in this course, we will together create a spam protection module that will protect your site from unwanted spam. Your live site will be safer and you will have less headache. So until next time, this was Peter. We just learned how to install scripts in Magento 2 work, and I will see you in some of my future videos.